All right, well, this has been something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I work remotely, so there's no reason for me to have to be here all the time. We went on trips quite a bit over the last few years. This last summer, we got kind of busy. But I thought that it might be easier if, means we have a vehicle now that can tow 5,000 pounds, which is that Honda Pilot. We went ahead and put the tow kit on it, which was an astronomical amount of money, but it has the oil cooler and all that stuff on it. I guess that's what it's called. But that was like $1,750. That wasn't cheap. But it can pull 5,000 pounds. So we went ahead and picked up a Rockwood Geo Pro. It's just under 3,100 pounds. And there was quite a few things the dealer didn't have a clue about because they didn't know solar. This was the only camper they had with solar. So this is kind of like a introduction of some of the things as I learn about this camper and things to be aware of. I'm going to cover a few things I've already discovered in my opinion so far of this camper. I love the layout of the camper. I've had several people call this like the Cadillac of campers. It's not. I will be honest with you. It's got a lot of nice features as far as how it's built and stuff. But I think that we went and looked at some Airstreams. The problem with Airstreams, are ridiculously expensive, but they are also not light. Even the smaller ones aren't necessarily light for the size you're getting. But you can tell the build quality between an Airstream and this is like night and day. It's kind of like getting into a little compact car compared to an SUV. You feel the solid build of an Airstream. This camper feels like a typical camper. With that being said, also I would get the extended warranty. We went ahead and for $1,700 bought the 6-year extended, basically like bumper to bumper type warranty, because it only comes with 1 year to start. So I wouldn't get this without that. There's a few problems we ran into right away. I'm going to show you how I addressed them. And also a few things that we learned after we purchased it, which would have been nice to know beforehand. So I'm bringing this out now. So let's go to the camper. Let's first take a look up here at the batteries. So what we have here is 2 flooded batteries, deep cycle, interstate. They are ran in parallel. They're not ran in series. So this is a 12 volt system, of course. I'm going to leave those covers off for now. I'll put them back on in a second. Let's go inside. And with that being said, that you still have this controller can control, this charger can charge 2 banks. Well, those 2 batteries are working as if it was 1 bank, not 2 separate 12 volt batteries. So in this particular configuration, it only works as if I have 1 battery. With that being said, keep in mind, and I'll review these at other times, I think that mine is defective. The A button doesn't seem to work. Now, the A button shouldn't do anything necessarily because I only have 1 battery group. You use the B button to go into setting, you hold it for 3 seconds, and then you would pick the type of battery, sealed, AGM, or flooded. So the other thing I'd like to mention, these are flooded batteries. It came as AGM. The difference is not drastic. However, when you're in flooded mode, the charge controller will automatically do a maintenance cycle every 28 days. So you'll be missing that maintenance cycle if it was configured with the wrong battery setting in here. The other issue is, like I say, my A button is screwed up, I think, because if I hit the A button right now, it's supposed to save that setting. Nothing happens. I have to wait until it finally accepts it. So be aware, check your buttons. You basically, everything's hold for 3 seconds. If you hold the B for 3 seconds, then it goes into setting mode, and then you can toggle between the battery types. The other issue is, like I say, I would be able to hit A right now to finish this mode. If there was a second bank or a second battery, then it would go change this number to 2, and then you could set what kind of battery that was. But again, my A button is not working. Pretty sure it's defective. Be aware of that when you look at yours. You're gonna have things that are broke. When you're spending $23,000, you would think it would be a little better. But another thing, the reason why I think my A button is broke is all these other buttons will turn the light on. Notice I hit the A, the light doesn't even come on. I can hit any of the other buttons, the light comes on. So I'm pretty sure that's busted. Which brings me to a very important note when buying campers. In a little piece of paper that came in the camper after we purchased it, I'm looking through the paperwork and I see this. And it says Forest River basically wants you to buy local, which is fine, but here's the catch. It brings out that these aren't like automobiles. You can't just take them anywhere to get fixed. And you may find that other people may not want to do the warranty work on your trailer. I don't know how that's going to work out. It may not be an issue, but it's something to be aware of. Be nice to know that I can't take this to the RV1 in Des Moines and have it worked on, even though they sell Geo Pros. That could be what I'm going to find out. I may have to take this all the way to Omaha every time I want to have it serviced. So keep that in mind when buying your camper. Where you're buying could have an impact on your warranty. So that's a question you should ask. Because they put this nice little brochure in that you don't see until after you buy your camper. So be aware of that. So now some other things to keep in mind. If you see a problem with the hardware, like the cabinetry and stuff like that, and if you have any kind of handyman ability, maybe don't have them do the warranty work for you because they might be morons. And I'm going to be very rude and ornery about this because I'm not a handyman, but I'm also not a complete idiot, and they should have seen this. So this is the issue I ran into. The drawer, which I've kind of fixed now, wasn't latching on this side. In fact, it popped out basically about a 1/4 inch further on this side. So it wasn't working correctly. It's still not perfect, but it's better than what they did. So the issue was the little runner back here was put back a little further back. So this little button right here wasn't grabbing it because this was mounted all the way up here. So here's the thing that was really stupid. You'll see here, I don't want to pull my whole drawer out. You see you got a very thin area to work with where that runner basically bolts to on this cabinet. And then back in the back, right there, it's got the little board that the rail connects to back there. So this is why I say maybe don't have them fix it. So what they did is where they had that very little amount of real estate to work with, they decide to move the rail that is connected to the outside of the cabinet. Well, the hole, when you move the rail forward, the hole comes forward and you have nothing to screw to. Well, as you saw in the very front of the cabinet, it's just a little thin piece of stuff. It's not really strong. And so then they put the screw in crooked. It was also crossing the hole that was already there. So it was basically they stripped the hole. They literally stripped the hole. Now, this is why I say they were idiots. Because why would they move the rail that's connected to the cabinet housing when it's only got 2 small areas that you can even anchor to? And anybody with common sense knows you can only put so many holes in a small area of wood before nothing's going to catch anymore. When they had these drawers that are completely made out of plywood, and all they had to do was adjust the rail that was connected to the drawer. Look at that. I got all these different holes I can try. And so this is where the screw was, and this rail was put way up here at the front. And so it couldn't catch. It was all the way up there. And so all they had to do was take the screws out holding this rail, and they have all this surface of real estate here that they could have screwed this to. Nice, decent, solid plywood, unlike this right here, which I'm pretty sure is particle board. So basically, when I noticed the drawer was messed up when I did a walkthrough on the camper, I asked them to fix it, and that was the botch job they did. So I ended up putting the rail back that was on the outer part, the outer rail, back in the spot it was, and then I used longer screws that I could go in further to make up for the fact that they totally stripped out the first half-inch area of that. And it's now nice and secure, and I moved the rail that was attached to the drawer, so now I have a locking drawer. So, if you have any handyman skills, unless you can tell the shop isn't a bunch of morons, maybe just do it yourself. So, be aware of that. Where are you going to get your trailer warranted? Make sure, if you're not buying it locally, that you'll be able to take it to a local person and they'll be okay doing warranty work on it, because apparently that's an issue. Be aware that test all your buttons on your controller. It's little things like that. So I think that's all I'm going to cover today with my frustration with this. Oh, another little quick note that I discovered that they didn't show us. I'm going to ask about warranty on this mattress. I started pulling the mattress out, and this is completely unraveling. Look at that. Completely unraveling. Brand new. $23,000. Definitely not the Cadillac of trailers. I love the layout. I do believe structurally they use a lot of good design, but they got a bunch of people in the factory that just don't care. Now, of course, the mattress, I don't even know where that's made at, but you get my point. It's just like every other camper. I went with this camper because it fit exactly what we needed, or should I say, we don't need a camper, what we wanted, as far as how the bathroom is laid out, everything. We love the layout. That is why we bought this camper. Less than 3,100 pounds. That's all the reasons we bought this camper. If you think you're buying this camper because it's some renowned quality, don't kid yourself. I don't think this is better than any other camper. There's a lot of campers that have one-piece floors, so just be aware of that. Do your research. I could be wrong, but I think probably a lot of them are just as good. But again, the biggest thing I want to go home on with this is you're going to have to work some problems out on this, any camper you buy. So make sure, if you do not buy it locally and it is having a warranty, doesn't matter who makes the camper, make sure you have someone locally that will honor that warranty. Because as that Rockwood thing, I keep hitting this home because this is a big deal. Because as this flyer said, it's not an auto dealership. They don't handle warranties the same way. So very, very aware of that before you buy. The other reason we want this is we want to go camping pretty soon. We've got trips already planned. And if you special order the trailer with all the features you want, it can take 12 weeks to get it. We wouldn't get it in time. This was already built with everything we wanted. That's why we bought it in Omaha instead of Des Moines. So, live and learn. Now you know. Hopefully I will have some good news for you later. And hopefully I will really love this thing, as I'm really hoping to love this thing. But these are things that you would say, you know, I went and spent $43,000. I bought $23,000 cars. They don't have flaws like this. There's no excuse for this. There really is no excuse for this. So, just be aware of that. Another little issue we had was this plate popped off. Now this plate just has two little clips. I've already tried repositioning this plate. The clips do not reach. So what I ended up doing was just using two pieces of, it's like a piece of foam tape that's got sticky on both sides, and I put that on the back side of this here and there, stuck it on, and that actually took care of that issue with that falling off. One other thing too is the Wi-Fi Ranger, which is on the top of the camper. You will see a big thing on the side. When you get it, it'll say Wi-Fi Ranger with LTE. It doesn't come with LTE. You have to pay extra for the LTE. It's like $200. So not a huge deal, just something to be aware of, because a lot of people are marketing as if it's a Wi-Fi and cellular LTE repeater. It is not. You have to pay extra for that. So just be aware that it's not LTE out of the box. So just another thing to be sure of. Now, newer versions, they may take care of that, but this is the newest model. So just be aware that it doesn't actually come with LTE, regardless of what it says on the window. Unless they've changed it over to come with the Wi-Fi Ranger Pro, which comes with LTE, then that's different. But this is the Wi-Fi Ranger Sky 4, and that does not come with the LTE built in. So that's one other thing to keep track of. So lots of disappointments. Not really. That one doesn't bother me so much, but it's still something to be aware of. Okay, well, I guess that sums it up for today. I'm going to put... It's really annoying that that button doesn't work. Really, really, really annoying. All right.